Now, other interesting cultural news, you have Twitter to roll out mass censorship. Now, Twitter has taken a nosedive recently because of this. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who had a lot of hope for the platform. When Elon first bought Twitter, he revealed all the documents that showed, oh yes, the U.S. government actually actively censored United States citizens without due process. And unfortunately, he brought a lot of people back onto the platform who were wrongly suspended or even taken off Twitter completely. Unfortunately, he wasn't a free speech absolutist. I always like to tell people he passed the Alex Jones test, which is a great litmus test if you're an international viewer. In case you never heard of Alex Jones, he's a political commentator. He has his own show called InfoWars, and his shtick is he loves to go into the conspiracy theories. The scary part is when, more often than not, or many times, he's proven right throughout the years. I think that a lot of people should be concerned about that. Now, in terms of advertisers, you had every social media company from Facebook to Twitter to YouTube nuke him all at once. They took all of his reach away. So now I think he has only his website. And he was sued multiple times. The big controversy around him was during the Sandy Hook massacre, he had a conspiracy theory in which he thought was a false flag in order for politicians to use as a mechanism to take away gun rights. Now, I think he got it half right in terms of politicians always capitalize on the most disgusting acts of humanity to push their agenda. It's disgusting. I can't help but notice one side does that more often than not when it comes to the guns issue. They don't examine, what's the household look at these people? Do they have a good family, good dad in the house? Or are they on any psychotropic drugs or any antidepressants? Or maybe this person just, needs some extra help or... No, it's the inanimate object. That's the cliche answer for most brainless politicians. So because of that controversy, he got sued, and a lot of people thought he doesn't deserve free speech. And again, call me old-fashioned, but I go by the old mantra of, I may not agree with what you have to say, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it. Which is what every American used to believe. That's what founded the United States. The First Amendment was paramount, perhaps second only to the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms. Now, the Alex Jones litmus test for me is if someone doesn't believe that he deserves free speech, they don't really believe in free speech. Free speech is easy. It basically doesn't mean if you agree with what someone has to say, they don't need free speech. Saying you believe that they deserve free speech needs nothing. It's the people that you don't agree with. That's where the true test of character is. If you truly believe in free speech, you should believe that everyone deserves that human right to express themselves. Now, with Twitter, Elon did not put Elon back on the platform when Elon took over the company. There's many that suspect it's because he doesn't want the app to get pulled from the App Store, because the App Store, is controlled by Apple and Google via Android. And without the app, it makes it prohibitive to get to. That's partially why Parler, that social media company, just crashed and burned. So Elon was not a free speech absolutist even from the beginning, but he did a lot of good. He brought a lot of people back, and he got rid of the censorship, and there's a lot of hope for the platform. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of contingencies that are outside of his control. Don't forget, Twitter is also hosted on Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS. So instead of having his own hardware, like a laptop to host the website or the app that he controls, it's outsourced. It's not his computer, or in this case, a server, rack mount server in a data center. It's Amazon's. So Amazon, if they want to, could just cancel it. Contracts be damned. They did that with AR15.com. Amazon just decided to shut down the website. No notice to the owner. Thankfully, Brownells has their own internal infrastructure. Great company headquartered out of Iowa, Montezuma to be in particular. And they had to put it on their own servers that they themselves own. So if Amazon could just shut off like that, Elon has to be also conscious of that. I was disappointed he didn't decentralize it or actually put it on his own hardware. Now, recently he hired a new Twitter CEO, Linda Macarena. Yaccarino, who may do the Macarena. If you ever interview her, that'd be a good question to ask. She looks like she might, but her whole background comes from advertising. In terms of political affiliations, it looks like she's done work for both Republicans as well as Democrats. Now, many people think she has more of a left leaning. She also has participated in the, I believe it's a big company. What's that group of evil? The big group of people you don't get to elect, but they control the world. Or if I say it, will this video get pulled completely? You probably know what they are. They're where they are. They have the big conference every year where they talk about how they're going to control everything. I'll let you put in the comments. We'll see if the video gets pulled. Now, her job was basically to make it, basically try to make Twitter profitable, I think. Because since Elon took over, they lost about 50% of their ad revenue. And again, Twitter has not broken even yet. He slashed a bunch of the fat from the company, about 5,000 employees. I would say 5,000 useless activists, because guess what? The interface for the end user right now is about the same before and after he took over in terms of reliability of the actual app and the website. Now, recently, looks like she's actually ramping up the censorship under the guise of winning back advertisers. Now, it looks like this is from the Twitter Safety Council, which oddly dystopian to think. Who decides what words mean, or rather, what is hate speech? Reminiscent of 1984. There shouldn't be a drinking game. It could be quickly deadly, because that book, unfortunately, is becoming more and more reality than a science fiction book. George Orwell was very underrated, and if public schools are worth a damn, they'd actually have that book read by students. Not all public schools are bad, but I'm concerned with most of them. Now, from Twitter Safety, they say labels have been applied to more than 700,000 violative posts that fall under our hateful conduct policy. We also proactively prevent ads that appear adjacent to content with the label. Compared to a healthy tweet, these new labels reduce the reach or impressions of violative content by 81%. More than 1/3 of authors proactively choose to delete their tweet after they were informed that the reach has been restricted. This sounds disgustingly familiar to prior when Elon Musk took over. They basically said, hey, we're not going to delete your profile or suspend you, but no one's going to see your stuff unless you delete this specific tweet. Well, obviously that's an incentive. They're pushing you to delete it. They go on to say, on average, only 4% of authors have appealed labels. Perhaps because most of them acquiesce and bend the knee immediately and don't believe in free speech or their own speech enough to stand up for it. They also say 90% of all appeals receive a response within 30 minutes. Perhaps it's an auto-deny. They also go on to say more than 99% of content users and advertisers see on Twitter is healthy. That I actually kind of agree with. I haven't seen too much bad stuff from my anecdotal personal experience. And they also say that, and the reach of hate speech on Twitter continues to represent an extreme small fraction of overall conversation. This past March, Twitter partnered with Sprinkler to understand. That actually measures and reduces hate speech by using the AI-based model to further our commitment to create a brand-safe environment for our agencies and advertisers. Yes, again, 1984, reminiscent. Yes, very much so. The Department of Truth, or Ministry of Truth. It's been a couple years. I need to reread that, actually, now that I think about it. Try to read it at least once a year. Now it says, AI-based models. Could they perhaps be engineered to discriminate one way politically speaking or another? I'm sure big tech would never do that. They respect all opinions equally. I can't say that with a straight face. My whole life has been pretty disproportionately weighted one versus the other. Now, it's also one of those things where no one could define hate speech like the cloud means different things to different people. And let's see what does Linda Macarena have to say? Now, she says, with a recent tweet when asking for asking comments about this topic, she said, a Bloomberg article today claims that harmful content viewed on Twitter is on the rise, but that's not true. Here's what's true. More than 99% of content users are advertiser friendly. And she also goes to say, over the past 8 months, we've made progress on reducing the spread of hate speech, proactively preventing child exploitation, and giving brands more control of where their ads appear from ad agency controls and third-party verification. We strive to be more independent, yada, yada, yada. But do we really believe her? Unfortunately, it seems like the censorship is just going to ramp up more and more and more, especially as we get close to an election. Perhaps I'm just a little bit more pessimistic than usual, but when it comes to tech, I think that's usually a good rule of thumb, most would say. Now, thank you again for taking the time to tune in. I really appreciate it if you take the time to subscribe. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of July, and we're getting closer and closer and closer. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers. Heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.